In this video, I show you how your Social Security payment can be taken away from you. And no, it's not just for people who've done bad things. Coming up next on Holy Schmidt.
Holy Schmidt!
A lot of people think that once their Social Security payment begins, they're locked in and nothing can happen to that payment. They think that people who have their payment taken away from them are those that have done something wrong. But that's not always the case. For example, if you violate the retirement earnings test, you can have your payment taken away from you. Let me explain. If you claim before your full retirement age and keep working, the Social Security Administration holds back part of your benefit once your wages cross a set limit. In 2026, that limit is $24,480 per year. And if this is the first year that you're receiving Social Security, it's measured on a monthly basis, $2,040 per month. Why is it measured monthly? Because not everybody retires on January 1st. Once you start receiving Social Security, if you exceed these limits, you have to give back $1 for every $2 over the limit. In the year that you actually are going to reach full retirement age, the limit goes up to $65,160, and the give back is less. You have to give back $1 for every $3 over that limit. Once you reach full retirement age, you don't have to give anything back to the Social Security Administration. You can earn as much as you want, and everything you receive from the SSA is yours. Now, the money isn't truly gone, at least potentially, because once you reach full retirement age, your payment is recalculated, and everything you give back is given back to you in the form of a higher payment. The reason I say potentially, by the way, is because that assumes, of course, that you're going to recover all of it before your time has come. So under the right circumstances, the earnings test is just a delay. It's not a permanent loss, but it feels pretty permanent when it happens to you and you have to give part of your payment back. Here's a quick example with real numbers so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. Say you claim at age 63 and take a part-time job that pays $40,480 a year in 2026. That's $16,000 over the $24,480 limit. The SSA holds back $1 for every $2, so they withhold $8,000 from your benefits that year. That raises your benefit at full retirement age, but you feel the $8,000 hole in your Social Security payment that year. And the people who get caught out on this, by the way, are usually people who leave their job and have part-time work. They think that they're safe because it's part-time. The second way to trip this up is if you remarry and you lose the benefit based on your prior partner's record. It's important to note that this provision isn't universal, and sometimes you actually get a pass. It depends on the specific situation. Let me explain what that is. Let's start with someone with divorced spouse benefits, where the former spouse is still living. If your marriage lasted 10 years or more, you can collect on that ex-spouse's record, but if you remarry, the SSA says that those benefits generally stop. Survivor benefits work differently, and the key age there is age 60. If you remarry after age 60, then you can keep the survivor benefits, but it's important to note here that you can't collect both the survivor benefit and the spousal benefit with your new partner. You have to choose one or the other. And by the way, for a person with a disability, the line is age 50. So someone who waits until age 60 to remarry is entitled to the survivor benefit. Someone who remarries at age 59 is not. And by the way, the dollars here aren't small. The survivor can receive up to 100% of the deceased spouse's Social Security payment. And for a survivor benefit of, say, $2,000 a month, waiting to get remarried until age 60 can mean the difference between having $2,000 a month and not. This is a detail you should confirm with the SSA before you have a later in life wedding. And one final point here, the benefit you receive on your own earnings record is yours. Remarrying doesn't change that. Number 3. You're incarcerated for more than 30 days. Frankly, this is one that most people don't think about because they assume it's not going to happen to them, but the rule is on the books, so we should cover it. If you're convicted of a crime and confined to a jail, prison, or similar institution for more than 30 continuous days, the SSA suspends your retirement, survivor, or disability benefits. The situation matters, by the way. The benefit isn't suspended if someone is just waiting for their trial. It's once they've been convicted. A clean rule of thumb here is that the benefit is suspended for the first full month following the conviction. Now, there are two things that soften this a bit. The first is that the spousal benefit and the child benefit continue to be paid even if someone is incarcerated. And the second is that the conviction isn't the end. The SSA can restart the payment once the person is released from prison. Gang, Medicare can be confusing. It can be overwhelming. Ask anybody who is age 65 or older, and they will tell you that this is true. They'll spend hours of time looking at and analyzing all the different plans. They'll make the choice and find out later they made the wrong choice, costing them hundreds or thousands of dollars a year. Now, on this channel, we have 3 affiliate relationships. One is our trusted Medicare Partner Chapter. Chapter is the only national advisor that looks at and recommends every plan. They're totally free to use. Your premium doesn't go up because you use them. They're really easy to work with. They save their clients an average of $1,100 a year, and it takes 20 minutes of your time to check it out. If this is of interest to you, give them a call at 440-703-1224. Next up is you owe specific debts that the SSA can't shield you from. For a lot of debt, the SSA payment is shielded from creditors, but not all of them. A credit card company or hospital generally can't reach into your Social Security payment, as an example. But the law carves out exceptions, and 4 of them stand out. First, federal taxes. If you owe back taxes, the IRS can levy up to 15% of each monthly payment through the Federal Payment Levy Program. On a $2,000 a month payment, that's $300 a month. For most retirees, that's real money. And to have it come out of the check every single month until the debt is paid off means that this could go on for years. But an important point to note here, the IRS sends a notice first, and you have 30 days to ask for a hardship reduction in that amount. The reduction is often given if the levy would reduce or eliminate somebody's ability to make basic expense payments. But the mistake is ignoring the notice. Second, federal student loans. The rules here have changed several times in recent years, with collections paused, restarted, and paused again. Delinquent federal student loans may be subject to collection through federal offset programs, so anyone affected should check the current rules rather than assume either way. And the broader point here is this: old student loan debts simply don't retire because you do. They often can reach into your retirement, so it's something to pay attention to. Third, child support and alimony. Under Section 459, your check can be garnished up to 50% for child support and alimony, unpaid child support and alimony. Fourth, court-ordered restitution to a victim of a crime. One useful note, really an aside here, supplemental security income, which is the separate need-based program, cannot be garnished or levied at all. The exceptions above apply to regular Social Security benefits. Number 5, you're on disability and your situation changes. There are 2 situations that can end this payment. The first is if you go back to work, and the second is if your medical condition improves. On the work side, the SSA uses a measure called substantial gainful activity, or SGA. Earn above that amount, and the Social Security Administration may decide that you no longer qualify. For 2026, the SGA limit is $1,690 a month for most people and $2,830 a month for people who are blind. Those numbers rose from $1,620 and $2,700 in 2025, so always check the current year. Now, there's a safety net, and the safety net allows you to test working for 9 months before the benefit disappears. It's not a hairpin trigger. In 2026, a month counts as a trial month if someone earns more than $1,210 in the month. And after the trial period, there's a multi-year period where your earnings can be turned back on without having to reapply if your earnings fall below the limit. The system is built to make trying to go back to work less risky. You just need to make sure that you report it. The second situation is medical. If the SSA reviews your files and they deem your condition to have improved, they can terminate your benefit. The SSA calls these continuing disability reviews, and they happen on a schedule based on how likely your condition is to improve. A short example to show why the SGA numbers matter so much. If you're on disability and take a job paying $1,800 a month in 2026, that's above the $1,690 line, so the SSA may treat it as substantial work. Stay just under the limit and your benefit is generally safe. A single raise can push you over, which is exactly why reporting your earnings each month is the habit that protects you. Gang, how prepared are you for retirement, really? Most people think they're more prepared than they really are. That's why we've created the Retirement Readiness Quiz. It's a 15-question quiz. It takes 2 minutes. It's totally free. It doesn't cost you anything. No credit card, no phone number, nothing like that. You fill out the 15 questions, and you get a 12-page report emailed to you instantly. If this is of interest to you, go to holyschmidt.com/quiz, take the quiz, and you can find out where you stand. The sixth way is a bit counterintuitive, and that is if you're not a U.S. citizen and you're receiving a Social Security payment, it's because you worked in the United States and you paid in legally, but you moved abroad, then the SSA can stop your payment if you don't follow certain guidelines. What guidelines are we talking about? Well, it's called the 6-month rule. If you move outside of the United States for 6 months or longer, then your payment stops. That said, many non-U.S. citizens qualify for an exemption. It depends on things like where you move to, what country you're from, and if there is a treaty between that country and the United States. There are many country-by-country exceptions, and the rules are detailed, so anyone in this position should check their specific country with the SSA before they go. The contrast for U.S. citizens is important because it removes some worry because people are a little confused on this point. If you're a U.S. citizen, you can generally receive your benefit in most countries around the world without having to worry about the 6-month rule. There are a small handful of countries where the U.S. just can't send you your payment. Think about countries like North Korea, Cuba, etc. But by and large, most countries, you can receive your payment there. There's an important practical step here. If you're going to be leaving the country for an extended period of time, you do need to let the SSA know so that they know where to send the money. Number 7 is one that a lot of people worry about, but frankly, rarely happens. And that is someone steals your information and they file for Social Security based on your earnings record. This is basically identity theft. Someone is taking your information, they filed for your payment, and they're receiving your payment. If a scammer gets your information, they can try to file for Social Security before you do, or redirect the payment that you're receiving over to their account. The setup usually starts with them knowing your personal details, your Social Security number, your address, your date of birth, and then filing a change with the Social Security Administration. Now, there are a couple of really easy steps to reduce the risk, substantially reduce the risk. The first is go to ssa.gov and file for your My Social Security account. It's your page on Social Security. And on that page, you claim your identity and you claim your Social Security information. And to be really clear, if someone calls you asking for your Social Security number, that's a red flag. Don't give it to them. It's not something that people ask for over the phone. And if you think someone's using your information, report it to the SSA Office of the Inspector General immediately. Go to oig.ssa.gov. Acting quickly is what limits the damage to your Social Security. Now, if you do find someone is claimed under your name, there are clear steps you can take beyond filing a report. First, ask the SSA to block electronic access to your record, place a fraud alert or freeze with the credit bureaus, and file a report at identitytheft.gov to get a recovery plan. The faster you move, the less a thief can take, and the easier it is to get things back on track. By the way, this is also why protecting your personal information matters, because personal information is hard to keep personal under ordinary circumstances anyway, but if it's out there, other people may be able to use it. If you like this video, check out that video. Here's who gets 2 Social Security raises in a single year. Also, don't forget to call Chapter if you have questions about Medicare, 440-703-1224. This is Jeff Schmidt, and I will see you in that video right there.